We've got the most viral guy on the internet right now, Clavicular, going on Piers Morgan. And look, listen, this is not a Looksmaxxing channel by any means, but we're only going to react to the best bits. So let's hop right into it.
Your argument is that as you've pursued this Looksmaxxing campaign for yourself, you've become more attractive and you've had more women.
Yeah, that's correct.
So in that sense, you're very different to someone like Nick Fuentes, who told me proudly that he's a virgin. He's never had sex.
Right. Well, I don't really understand why it's so, controversial to say that when, that's for religious reasons, right? I seriously doubt that you would ever say that to someone who is of the Islamic faith, someone saying that they're reserving themselves for marriage. I think,
Yeah, I would.
you would probably be screwed in media if you were to use that same argument against the Muslim that you did against Nick, simply because he's Catholic.
But hang on, it wasn't. I didn't use it as an argument. I just asked him if it was true. I didn't care either way. It doesn't bother me.
No, you knew what you were doing.
It's just interesting to me that. Well, what do you think I was doing?
You were trying to make him look bad and sort of use the whole thing of him never having sex with a woman as some sort of like insult or some sort of way for you to, make him look bad. It was just a little ridiculous.
Well, actually, all I said to him was, do you think you'd be less intense about everything if you just got laid? I was just having a bit of fun with it. I was doing a bit of jester maxing.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's just attacking someone based on their, religious beliefs.
It's funny how Piers Morgan and Nick Fuentes are both Catholics, but Piers Morgan tried to kind of use that against him. Doesn't this go against your church doctrine or your religious beliefs? Shouldn't you be applauding the guy for doing something that is so unseen in today's society, instead of trying to get a gotcha moment? I mean, I think that's what Piers Morgan is just specializing in. I think this guy is like one of the OG rage baiters ever. You might just call him a masturbator.
But I mean, like, that's just attacking someone based on their, religious beliefs. And I don't really think that makes any sense.
You don't think Nick Fuentes ever does that?
Well, this is about you. If you want to morally grandstand over people, just because he did it, does that mean I can do it? Like that argument?
No. It's not morally grandstanding, but it's not.
No, it is.
Hang on. I'm not morally grandstanding, but I do think if somebody, for example, like him, has been very critical of people who are Jewish, for example, and have a Jewish faith, what's wrong with questioning him with his faith? And by the way, his faith is the same as mine. He's a Christian. I'm a Catholic, right? And I had no problem with his answer. I was just curious what kind of person he is. I'm curious what kind of person you are. What's interesting is you're clearly very different people, because I'm going to come to the van where you're all in the same van, and I'm sort of scratching my head as to what you guys have in common. I just don't see that you have much in common with someone like Fuentes, or why you would think it would benefit you to be seen with him in the way. In fact, let's come to it, because it was quite interesting. One of the few controversial things, genuinely, I think you've been involved with, was this scene in Miami when you're in a van with the Tate brothers, with Nick Fuentes, with Sneeko. When you watch that video, are you comfortable about that?
Funny how a professional journalist like Piers Morgan, who's been in the game for decades now, resorts to clip farming. He's like, yeah, I just want to get to know you better, so I'm just going to play one 15-second clip of one of your most controversial moments. Sure, because that really tells a lot about a person. And I think Piers is just playing the game. He's just going from one slop topic onto another. But fair play to Clav, I think he really did mock him there.
Well, listen, Piers, historically, you've, kind of been talking about this whole thing with Ye for a little while. So I've actually got a yay thing as well for you. So why would you go to that island, Piers?
Which island?
You know what I mean?
No way Piers Morgan just censored a segment of his show when his show is called Piers Morgan Uncensored. Here's the original clip with what Clav played in the background.
Actually got a yay thing as well for you. So why would you go to that island, Piers?
This guy Piers is a total clown for that.
So that's the point. Wait
a minute. Which island? You mean the Epstein Island? Obviously, I've never been there, never met Epstein, never had any connection with him, not in the Epstein files other than references to being at lunches and things that have nothing to do with him. Well,
brutal.
no. You
other
can go
than-
read them. The beauty of the Epstein files, you can go and check my name. You can read every entry. You'll see none of them have anything to do with him or his activities or anything. I'm just mentioned in passing as having been at completely unconnected events. So there's nothing
Well,
to
what
do
about
with that. I met
Ghislaine
Ghislaine Maxwell. Well, I'm about to come to
there
that.
you
So
go.
I was pictured with her. Okay, I was pictured with her at a book launch for 5 minutes. I've talked about it. She admitted that under oath. The only time we'd ever met was for 5 minutes. So I have no connection to that scandal at all, other than I once met her for 5 minutes at a book launch. So let me come back to you in the van with the Heil Hitler song playing.
Well, this
Ye
is
has
like a little
now
bit ridiculous because you're with
Well, no, hang
the
on,
number
hang
one
on, hang on,
Looksmaxxer.
hang on,
No.
hang
Piers,
on,
Piers, you're with
hang
the,
on, no.
You're with the number
I'm going to
one
finish my question.
Looksmaxxer. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. Let me finish my question. I'm just curious because Ye has now publicly apologized for all his anti-Semitic behavior and language in a full-page advertisement he took out in a newspaper. That came after the thing with the van. You've seen Andrew Tate trying to backtrack from what happened there. Fuentes doubles down because that's what he does about everything. He views it all probably as a bit of a joke and it doesn't matter. Stico, I don't think really matters. He's not significant in the way I think that you are in terms of influence. But I look at you there and you've got a guy behind you literally doing a Nazi salute as Heil Hitler plays in this van. A song that basically pays... Well, hang on. A song that pays tribute. Well, you're singing along to the song, and it pays tribute to the most genocidal monster of the last 100 years. And I'm just curious whether you think it's funny, whether you now regret being put in that position, whether you wish you hadn't been so enthusiastic about singing along to that song, or whether you don't care at all. And I don't have a fixed answer for you. I'm just curious what you genuinely feel.
Well, the thing is, Piers, I'm not political and I didn't play the song, so that's kind of all there is to it, right? And I find it quite silly to me that you're with the number one Looksmaxxer, and instead of asking how you could ascend so that, you know, your wife wouldn't tweet out captions like, when my husband's away, Mr. Sud comes out to play, maybe if you asked me how to ascend, then that would stop happening to you.
Thank you, Clavicular, for the clip.
You know what I mean?
Okay, so you're distracting, and that's fine. You're having your fun. I've got no problem with that. But just to be clear, you were in a van singing along to Heil Hitler. Do you regret doing that?
Well, I didn't play it, right? So it's like if someone were to come next to you in the street and play a song, it's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know why you're trying to get political
along to
with
it.
me. And this is exactly what I mean by your production. Wait, listen.
No.
I've got nothing to do with it.
I'm just curious.
I've got nothing to do with it.
Well, so you're singing along.
I really have nothing to do with it. I have nothing to do with it. And this is what I mean, right? So you basically lied to, my PR team that you wanted to come and interview me about Looksmaxxing. And this is what you do, right?
I've literally spent the first. I spent the first. Well, hang on. Stop being such a baby. I spent the first half hour of the interview taking you seriously about all the Looksmaxxing thing. I find it genuinely interesting. I find it also interesting.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Hang on. Let me finish my point. All right, let's try and keep things civil. There's no reason not to be. I'm just bemused why you would want to be associated with those other guys, most of whom have doubled and trebled down on it, who don't care. They don't mind idolizing Hitler. They think it's funny. They joke about the Holocaust and so on. I'm not sure you're that kind of person, but you have a chance to tell me whether you are, right? You were in this.
I just told you, I'm not political.
Well, it's pretty political to chant Heil. Well, to sing to a song called Heil Hitler, you're being political. It's like,
I don't know why you're trying to make me this political figure when it's something that I've tried so hard to avoid. It's like, I want to talk about Looksmaxxing, but my position on everything is like, I'm not going to be, scared to collaborate with people. That's something that was good for my career, objectively, to collab with bigger creators. It's like, just as I would with any leftist, like it really doesn't make any sense for you to do this whole Jester Max where you're trying to make me this like right-wing guy.
I'm not joking.
Straight up.
I'm literally doing, I'm actually literally, hang on, Clav. I'm literally doing the opposite. I'm actually giving you the chance to say you're not one of those right-wing guys, that you don't idolize Hitler.
There you go.
That you don't
for the sixth time.
Well,
I just said I'm not political.
Yes,
okay, that's my comment.
Okay.
So it's like, if you're gonna make me like come on here and denounce like every single political figure, I'm not political. That's all you're getting, Piers. That's all you're getting is I'm not political whatsoever in any way. Okay, so back to Looksmaxxing. Back to Looksmaxxing, Piers.
I understand.
Like, you're not going to have this gotcha moment where you
I'm going to try. Okay, it's not a gotcha moment. You were singing Heil Hitler, right? You made it political, not me. As I said to you at the start of the interview, I will always challenge people on what comes out of their mouths. You were singing Heil Hitler with a bunch of people, some of whom have been brazenly anti-Semitic. I'm simply asking you, do you feel comfortable?
Clav is so over it right now.
Looking back on that video, do you wish you hadn't done it? And do you understand why people were so offended by it?
It's quite funny, actually, how this song causes so much outrage. But if it weren't for this song, in this club, you'd be hearing all types of drill rap. You'd be hearing just degenerate music, telling people to, like, shoot their ops and whatnot, like King Von, drill, anything like that. No problem there. But when it's something about... you got a big problem on your hands. Piers is constantly saying that he's not trying to get a gotcha moment. The past 10 minutes of this is just him trying to get that gotcha moment.
Yeah, I absolutely understand why people are offended by it. But at the end of the day, it's like something that went viral. And, like I'm a content creator, but it was sort of more of a headache than it was a positive. So at the end of the day. And I'm not political, and this is kind of like what happened was now people are asking me all these questions about podcasts. So it's just really not something that I want anything to do with in terms of like my content to do political stuff, to do any of these like huge PR stunts. You know what I mean? So I'm simply here to advocate for, men's issues and Looksmaxxing. So that sort of distracted from that a little bit. So that was never the goal.
I get it. So I get it, which is what I thought would be the case. So just to conclude that, I'm not going to overrate it.
Okay, you don't have to keep going for clarifications. It's like I told you.
I'm not asking for. I'm not asking for clarification.
That's all I'm going to say about it.
One more question about it. Given what you've just said,
I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to answer. So move on.
Okay. All right. We have another question. Yeah.
I'm not answering your questions about politics anymore. So this is exactly what Knowles did to me that landed me in a lot of trouble with the whole thing about JD Vance. Is like now I attacked JD simply because, and I was trying to comment on looks, right? But this went viral all over Twitter and it distracted from my message. So that this is not like something that I want to keep happening, where it's like I simply make a comment about someone's body fat percentage, and all of a sudden I'm a left winger. I'm a Democrat. I support Newsom. It's like, no, I just simply said that he's fat, right? Like I didn't support anyone.
Had you waited, Clav, you're getting ahead of yourself, because had you waited, I'd have said I totally understood what you were doing with JD Vance and Gavin Newsom. You weren't making a political statement. You were making an aesthetic statement. I didn't think you got political there. You were simply saying JD Vance looks a certain way, Gavin Newsom looks a certain way. For your Lookmaxxing aspirations for people, Newsom ticks more boxes than JD Vance, right?
I said that he mogs him, yes.
Yeah, so I got that, and that's why I didn't think that was political at all. My last question on the other matter, and you don't have to answer, but I'm going to ask you the question, is given what you said about understanding why it offended people, wishing you hadn't done it and so on, would you like to apologize for being involved in that?
I didn't play the song, so I've got nothing to say about that.
I love how they went into the interview with Michael Knowles that Clavicular did. He explains it, Piers gets it, and then he tries to just revert back to the gotcha moment. He literally tried to make him go straight back into making an apology about a song that he didn't even play. A moment where he was just chilling with his boys. I mean, look, listen, I like Piers Morgan. I think he's better than most industry people. He's like a fat center left version of Tucker Carlson or Patrick Bet-David. But also, to be fair to Clav, I think he's doing the right thing, collaborating with people outside of his niche. Clav is making like over over 100K a month now. But yeah, that's just what I think. Let me know what you guys think, and let's wrap up the video.
You're not sorry about singing along to it?
I had nothing to do with it, Piers, at the end of the day.
You did sing it.
Had nothing to do with it, Piers. Like, I don't know why you're trying to, constantly circle back. It's like, I'm not political.
No, I'm not. I
answered
just
it.
Okay. I've tried.
That all
I've given you three. I've just given you 3 opportunities, given you expressed regret for people who were offended and so on, to apologize. You've chosen not to. You don't have to. I'm not forcing you. I'm not trying to gotcha you.
Would you like to apologize for being with Ghislaine Maxwell and being in the Epstein files?
No.
Would you like to apologize for that?
No, because I've told you I'm in the Epstein files.
No apology. Based. Yeah,
No,
Epstein had aura.
You don't understand. You don't understand.
Epstein had aura, Piers. W admit.
Sorry?
Are you saying he had aura, so you're not going to apologize?
No, what do you think I'm apologizing for?
Well, you just said you're not going to apologize.
What do you want me to apologize for?
For being involved with Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein.
Well, obviously, as I said to you, I never met Epstein or had anything to do with him. None of the references to me in the Epstein files show any improper behavior at all. I'm simply mentioned in references to disconnected events like luncheons and so on that had nothing to do with him or Maxwell. And I met Ghislaine Maxwell for 5 minutes at a book launch where we talked about her father, Robert Maxwell, who owned the newspaper that I was the editor of for 10 years after he died. So there's nothing to apologize for. Whereas in your case, because you've expressed regret over being caught up in a situation that you said was out of your control, I don't think it's unreasonable of me to say, well, are you sorry? If you're not, you're not. If you are, now's your chance.
Well, listen, we've talked about, all those situations. So I think if you have any other questions, we could just move on to that. And I won't bring up your involvement with Ghislaine Max.
No, you can. You can talk about that as much as you want. Very happy to. If you have any supplementary questions.
Well, I'm here to talk about Looksmaxxing, like I told your production team. So
but the difference is, I don't mind you. I don't mind. I have no problem with you talking to me about Ghislaine Maxwell or Epstein or the scandal or anything.
What I would hope not, because you're a political commentator. I'm not. I would hope you wouldn't have a problem with that, because that's literally your job. But it's not my job to sit here and talk about all of these different political issues. It's really not my job. It's not something.
Well, can I offer you? Look, I have 3 sons, right? And they're a bit older than you. If you were my son, I'd be applauding you for the amazing business you've built for yourself. I think a lot of what you do in the self-improvement thing is perfectly laudable. I think there are some parts of it, which I'll come to, which are a little bit more concerning. But if one of my sons was caught in a van with a bunch of people, some of whom have been proudly anti-Semitic, and they were singing along to a song called Heil Hitler, I'd have a firm word with them and I'd get them to apologize to people who were rightly disgusted. You've chosen not to, and that's fine. I'm not gotchering you. I'm just saying, do you feel sorry? If you don't, you don't.
Don't worry, your sons will never have as successful of a media career as me, so you won't have to worry about any PR disasters.
I'm sure you're right.
For the love of God, are you ever gonna move on from this line of questioning? Yes. Or
I'm gonna move on now. I'm going to move on now.
So this was just 15 minutes or so of Clav mogging the hell out of Piers Morgan and his entire bloodline. And that's also just 15 minutes of Piers Morgan just begging it for the clip farm moments. But I do gotta say this about Clavicular, however. He did sell out when he did this with Dave Rubin. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.